Hi, this is Melanie Wynn here. I just got back from shopping. It was packed in the grocery stores. I went to a place called Market Basket first to get my meats and whatnot. And I stopped at Walmart, and it wasn't too bad at Walmart. I got what I needed to get and get out. Um, so somebody asked me in my comments about what happened to me in Mock. Well, to answer that question is, unfortunately, I filed for divorce from Mock in 2004, but I left England in 2003. I filed for divorce on based of the grounds of physical abuse and mental abuse, and also he committed adultery in our marriage with someone that I knew, and I paid her back for doing that to me. I did. She didn't like the karma that I basically emotionally blackmailed her. She got what was coming to her. She deserved it as well because she knew we were married, and she was also wrong as well. And I'm glad I never have to see that that witch ever again. But it doesn't matter because I'm divorced. I moved on with my life. In the beginning, Mark was a good, very good husband, in the beginning, and before we even got married, we were engaged and all that. We were just fine, and then I don't know what happened to him. Something snapped in him, I guess. I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I come to find out, eventually that he has bipolar as well and depression. So, but at the end of the day, we're all responsible for our own actions. Whether you're bipolar or you have depression, you know, I'm not a happy person, but I know right from wrong. If I do something wrong, I admit to it. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But I didn't deserve to be abused physically, but yes, I did fight back. I threw a chair at him. First I kicked him in the nuts, and I threw a chair at him. I had to defend myself. I'm not going to let a guy let a guy put their hand on me ever. I went through that with my father at 15 years old, and I wasn't going to put up with that from no man. So yeah, we got divorced, and because he did ask me on the phone when I was back in the States, he says, "Mel, do you want a divorce? Do you want to fight with this marriage?" I said I want a bloody divorce. That's how exactly what I said. I want a bloody divorce. I did forgive him for committing adultery with that girl. But what set me off was his abuse. And most women go back to their abusers, not me. I didn't go back to him. So he sent he sent the divorce papers by post to me because I couldn't afford to fly out to England. I didn't have a job right away because I just got back at the time from England, and so he did send the divorce papers, and I filled it out, sent it out, and I was divorced. So within a few months after that, and then I started dating, and instead of having bad luck with guys, and it was one disaster after another. Um, yeah, I didn't always have a good track record with men. It's not my fault. It's them. I attract losers. I don't know why, but that's what I attract. They come my way, and I wish they didn't. The last boyfriend I had before I got involved with Corey was someone I knew from my past. We went to school together. So he took advantage of me. He didn't hit me, but he was emotionally abusive to me. He knew I had problems, and because of him, I had a mental breakdown, and I ended up in the psychiatric care unit. It wasn't good. He was mentally tormenting me a lot. When he couldn't get his way, he threw a temper tantrum like a child, started yelling at me. And I gave in to him one time, only one time, to get something for his vehicle. It wasn't my problem. He didn't have the money. It really wasn't. But he put it out on. He put all his issues on me when I had my own. When I had my mental breakdown because of him, I was flipping out in front of the police. I was out of my mind. And I was on antidepressants too. It was really bad. I took a drive somewhere. I stopped at this place called Briars Point. It's like a beach, you know. So I stopped there and then tried to calm down. I couldn't. I started flipping out. I was slamming my wrist. I was swearing and cussing. Somebody called the police. They heard me flipping out. I told the cops what was going on with me. And they told me they got an ambulance. I told them what's going on with my mental health and what I went through. And then they said, ma'am, if you don't go to the hospital, we're going to put you in handcuffs. And I flipped out on the police. Because me and police don't always are not always good with each other. I'm not saying all cops are bad. I'm not hating on all cops. But at the time, this was like 2014 this happened. So the police didn't have proper training with the mentally ill. They really didn't. Now they do in my state. They're a little bit trained compared to back then. So they didn't put their hand on me, thank gosh. They threatened to put me in handcuffs if I didn't go to the hospital. I was swearing and cussing at them, and I was swearing and cussing at the paramedics inside the rescue. I was flipping out, swearing and cussing. Seriously, I was. I was out of my mind. When I got there, the doctors took my blood pressure, and they said it was really high. I almost had a stroke. They had to put me on Ativan, and basically, for people that have high anxiety, they put me on that. They monitored my blood pressure because it was really high because I was swearing and cussing at everybody, including the doctors. I lost it. They told me I had an anxiety panic attack that caused me to flip out like that. And bipolar episodes, which I did. I had a very bad bipolar episode. And I was there for a few hours. And then they expected me to walk home, which was not good because I wasn't in the best of health physically as it is. I get dizzy as well. So good thing my sister was working at a Halloween store with my brother. They were working for this lady that at a Halloween store like every October. It was around October of 2014 this took place. So I wasn't far from the Halloween store, so I walked there. I told my sister I need a ride home. She brought me to where my car was at Briars Point. The police didn't touch my car. No one towed my car. I was very lucky about that. So I got the car. She dropped me off and got my car, and I went home. And then then at that time, me and this guy were over. He was a loser. Before we even broke up. He was on the Tinder dating app, and he lied to my face about it because my brother's friend caught him on there, and he denied it. And I didn't want to believe it at first because I was blind. I was blind out of love. I was completely blind about everything. And then finally I realized he's no good. He's a loser. I wasn't going to bother with any guys after him. I wasn't going to even bother with Corey, but, Corey came my way. We were fun in the beginning. Corey's better than the other guys I've been with. Corey doesn't take advantage of me. He doesn't mentally abuse me. He doesn't call me names. He doesn't hit me. Is he perfect? No, he's not. But we help each other out. He doesn't, we don't take from each other. We don't steal from one another. We help each other. This is what we do. We care about each other. We do love each other, but sometimes he's got a funny way of showing it, but I know he does. I never got much love growing up, so sometimes I don't know how to love anyone. Sometimes I don't even know how to love myself. That's pretty sad. Maybe one day I'll learn to love myself, but I don't love who I am. I'm fat. If I wasn't on antidepressants, I would be a normal weight. They've messed up my brain, the antidepressants on top of it. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I don't know if I'm. Sometimes I just want to scream. They've controlled my life. I wish I can get off them, but if I come off of them, I will be a basket case. And I'll end up in the hospital, and I don't want that. So I can't when either way, with or without them. I'm taking an antidepressant called, it's a generic brand if I can think of the name of it. Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it. But yeah, like I said, they're a generic brand. They don't really help me because my body's so immune to them. I don't want to keep taking different antidepressants. I get frustrated with that, so I don't do that no more. I was taking Wellbutrin, but it gave me very bad vertigo, so I had to come off those. I don't get it as bad like I did, but sometimes I get a little bit of vertigo, and that's not fun. So, I gotta keep an eye on the time. I'm gonna go to karaoke where I used to live. On Friday nights, it's from 6 to 9 o'clock. And I know the lady who runs it. She's really nice. I only go there for karaoke on Friday nights. But if I'm not feeling good, I won't go. But I'm fine. I can go there. I've been feeling a little low, just depressed. I was crying earlier. I was really low. Very low, depressed, lonely. But I'll tell you more about how I feel about myself or describe how about myself in the next video. So I want to say ta-ta for now.